Since I'm more into the Dynamics background, so you can actually see Copilot in Dynamics Sales or Dynamics 365 Service or whatever the module is it. So we can see in this session on how we can leverage the AI Builder, AI prompt, custom prompts to power up your existing Dynamics 365 sales. Okay, so just a quick introduction about me. Yeah, so myself, I have over 12 plus years of experience, mainly into Microsoft Dynamics platform. Yeah, and saying it, yeah, so we will have experience. I mean, like on side note, yeah, together with all this Power Platform components, and recently more into Copilot, Copilot Studio as things is getting evolving on. So I think we can just move ahead to the session, like what we are going to discuss today. So we'll have a short introduction, and I hope you all know about what is Copilot Studio. Then we will see how to enable this AI features in our environment. Then what is AI Hub? And we will see about some pre-built AI prompts that is already present in the system. And later we will see how to configure your own prompt. You can configure your own prompt and how to test it. Okay. Finally, we can see how we can develop, like the DI agent. So we will power up the existing D365 sales agent and we will test and see how it is working. Okay. So, what's the next? So quick introduction on Copilot Studio. As everybody know, this is an platform where you will be using to create your own agent, or you can actually modify the existing Copilot that is present in any of the Microsoft ecosystem. So this slide can give you more details on that. So say it, as I told you, there are a variety of Copilot that Microsoft introduces in each and every product, right? So the major one is like Copilot for M365, which is already in place, and then Copilot in each and every application like Dynamics 365 Sales, Service, or inside the Power Platform, and other custom Copilots that we are going to build, right? Using the Copilot Studio, which is independent of those applications. So whatever the Copilot may be, Microsoft Copilot Studio is the platform that will be used to extend and customize all these Copilot. Because using Microsoft Copilot Studio, right, you will, I mean, it is actually powered by even all this Azure Cognitive Services, Azure AI Studio and everything. So it has all the Power Platform connectors, inbuilt AI builders, and other channels where you can establish the Copilot into. So we are going to use this as a tool to make the Dynamics 365 Sales Copilot, okay, more powerful. So going back to now, okay. So I'll start from the basics. Okay. So basics in the sense now people who are from Dynamics background, they might know all this Power Platform, how the environment works, what is a Power Platform admin center, what is a maker site, right? So anyhow, I'll simply go through the initial setup that is required in your environment to enable all this AI. So I would say this session is more on a hands-on session where we will try it out and see how everything is work rather than seeing the slides. Okay. So let me open my environment straight away to show you. Okay. So hope you guys know what is a Power Platform Admin Center. So this is where all our environments, right? Any organization, right, will be located here. So I'm just opening my own environmental settings. Okay. So in general, right, we will just go inside and make sure whether this Copilot is enabled here. Okay, so we have to just enable the Copilot over here. Then we will make sure Copilot exists in any application over here. So this is the setup where we can actually turn on and turn off the Copilot. If you don't want your users to access the Copilot, you can actually turn on from this setup. Okay. And the most important thing is if I scroll down, you can see here the AI builder and AI prompts. Okay. So this too has to be enabled for you to leverage on the AI build AI prompt capability to use in the Copilot or any other application. So Currently, these two are enabled by default. Okay, so but based on the organization and their policies, right, they might disable also. So this is the first thing that we may need to check before we go on to the okay. So this is something. So I'm just moving back to the next slide. Right? Okay, so where is AA Hub? Okay, where it is located? Now again, now like admin center, right? We have one more portal in Microsoft, as you all know, it's called the Power Apps Maker portal. Okay, so it's the make.powerapps.com. I'm just logging into the make.powerapps.com. Then in the side menu, you will see something called AA Hub here. Okay, so this AA Hub is a place where you will be seeing, you can see and create all the prompts, models, or whatever it is. Okay, so I click on this and you can see here, like there are two three different types, like one is prompt, the other one is model, the other one is like document automation, which is more of like an you like RPA kind. This is how document automation is about. Okay, so talking about like the prompt, right, this is one of the simplest AI thing that everyone can use. So we don't even need to learn anything for this separately. Okay, so Microsoft have designed it in such a easy way that everybody can just use it. And then AI models, yeah, it's related to, I can show you. So AI models, you can see here, right? It has a variety of model based on different categories. So like if you want to go for documents, right? You have certain model which is already inbuilt in the system, right? So if you want to extract some information from the document, okay, so if I want to extract the custom, I mean, like any information, right? I can just use this model, configure it, and use it straight away. I don't need to do anything else. Like this is like invoice processing and text recognition, so all these are like self-explanatory. You can easily go and explore it and you can try it out and it's very interesting for this. Okay. So just for this sake of demo, right, I will show you more on the prompt category here. Okay. So let me click on the prompt and let's see how it looks like. Okay. So ideally, right, when I go into the AI prompt, right, we can actually see a lot of pre-built templates which is already available here,
I
and
think
you can also build
Binoth,
your
I
own.
think we
Yeah.
cannot see your screen. Can you share again?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep, yep. And by the way, people who are there, just submit your feedback for the event. You can see there is a poll in the chat. Yep. Yeah, Binoth, sorry, you can share again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm okay. So is it visible now? Yeah.
Yes, yes, can.
Okay, okay. So I'm not sure from when you were not able to see the screen. Yeah.
2 minutes, around
Oh,
2 minutes. Yep.
oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, then I'll just quickly recap what I was showing you here. Okay, so I was actually telling about this AI hub, okay, where you can see the prompt and AI models. Okay, so even in prompts, both in AI models, we are already having some pre-built things that is already available. So for AI model, yeah, if you go inside the AI model, you can see all the categories, like the inbuilt categories, right? If you want to do anything related to the images, right? So you see there are some pre-built, like you have a photo and you need to extract the details text present inside the photo. It's basically the OCR, right? You can use this model. Likewise, if you want to detect an object inside some image, right, you can use this model. Okay, so this one, right, like it's simple. Like you can just configure where you just put up an image as an input. It will give you the description or it will identify what is it about. Okay, so this is more on the models, and when we come back to the prompts, right, yeah, again they have already defined a variety of predefined prompts, okay, which also will be very useful for us to simply use it. So when you go into this prompt category, right, you can see that predefined whatever is here, right, like summarize text, which means that you have a large chunk of data, a paragraph which is like 2 3 pages, and you just wanted to summarize it and give it, right, you can use this prompt. Okay, so I just click on this prompt and you'll be able to see what this prompt they have given. Okay, a preview of the prompt. Okay, so you can see that please summarize the given text in a way that is easy to understand for general audience. So these prompts, they have already engineered in such a way that it's already working here. Okay. Like for example, right? This one, right? This one will be helpful. How do you extract information from a text? Okay. Again, you have a page of data, or someone is sending you a paragraph, right? You wanted the system to find out what is present in that paragraph and then get the details out of it, right? Automatically. So we will actually try to use it practically and see how it works. Okay, so let me just quickly go through the basic slides and then we can come back to the demo there. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. See, um, you can either use a pre-built model which is already present in the system. Okay, so where I mean, like they have actually designed for the purpose, like many like common business scenarios, right, which people will be using often. They have used this. Okay, and at the same time, right, you can design your own prompt. And the main thing is you will be able to use this prompt, okay, inside reuse the prompt in Copilot Studio, or you can use inside the Power Automate, or you can even use inside the Power Apps. Okay, you can use the same prompt all throughout any different applications. So that is the power of reusability. And this is what the pre-built AI prompts that I was talking about. Okay, now consider we are going to create our own prompt, right? So what it means, like everybody knows, right? What when we use chat gpt, how we will be asking the questions, right? So to make the prompt work more in a more accurate fashion, right? They are generally telling that there are in every prompt, right, there should be two parts. Okay, the first part must be the instruction in which it should provide a clear direction on what this model should do. Okay, and then the second part is like you should tell the model on what it needs to generate. So this you should, whenever we are creating a prompt, like we should have in mind that we will be passing this two information to every prompt. So we should just tell them, like for example, right, you want to summarize some text or you want to extract some details, right? So the first part is like you have to tell it clearly. So extract this details, maybe give it in a bullet points. Okay. And the second part is then you can give like from where it should generate. Okay, from this source or from this data source or from the text I'm providing, and provide me responses based on what I mean, what are all the PII data, or give me anything related to the currency details or whatever it is. So I can show it in a demo here. Okay, so let me go back to my Power Platform screen. Okay, so first let's try creating a pre-built prompt which is there. Okay, so maybe we can randomly take, okay, maybe this one will be more interesting here. Okay, so if you see on a high level, yeah, it's self-explanatory. See, consider if it is sentiment analysis, right? You give anything to the Copilot. Maybe I can click and then I can show you. Okay, so you click on that, it gives you its own prompt engineering. You can read through it. It will understand. I mean, like to understand what it will do. Like for example, right? This a prompt, what it will do is, I if you give any kind of response, right, it will say whether it's positive or negative. Like if someone is telling like, I like your product very much, like something like that, this is one of your survey or some feedback that you are receiving, right? This will give you response whether it is positive or negative or neutral. Okay, so consider like this, I do not like water. You can see it will give it as negative. So this prompt has a capacity to identify whether it is a positive or negative. Okay, so even this prompt is may commonly used in some places where like we will identify the response from the user, and then based on the response, right, whether it is a positive or negative, you can create your own business process, and then you can follow the next step accordingly. Okay, so maybe right, you can test one more thing. Okay, so this is like it will help to extract some relevant information from anything, any document or whatever it is. Okay, so consider we will create a prompt using our this pre-built. Okay, so I'll just give it a name. So I'm for now, right? I'm not going to change any thing present here. If you require, you can actually change. And I mean, like in the way, like how do you want the output, or you can even change the prompt and then you can give it however you want. Okay. But for now, right, I'm not going to change anything. So this is called the prompt designer screen. And if you see at the right hand side corner, you see like few things, right? So you see this is the input that you are going to supply to the prompt. This is actually the knowledge which you can supply to the prompt, which we'll see in the next step. And then this is what the output, and then this is some settings. Okay. So now let me show you the output. Okay. So the output, there are two different ways, whether it can be text or sometimes you can actually change the output type to JSON. Okay. Again, I can show you what is it in the next slide. So on again, if you could talk about the settings, right? Yeah, in general, right, by default, it is using the standard GPT-4 model, and you can actually change it if you want to work. But obviously, everything incurs cost here. Okay, so for now, we have certain credits in our environment. Based on that credits, it will be working. So I leave it to the standard. And yeah, temperature is about like how predictable the result that it should provide. So you can actually increase or decrease. Okay, so if in case, right, if you are increasing this, right, it will allow the GP to respond in a like what to say, in a more diverse manner. Like it will use its own knowledge so much. But for now, I don't want all those things. I just wanted to be it normal. So like that, and then these are all the other setups which you can actually have a look into. Okay. So we have the prompt here, and then right, we will just check it how whether it is working fine or not. Okay. Maybe now what it is telling us, extract the specified entity where and provide a comma separated list, which they have mentioned here based on this text. Okay. So here actually I need to specify like two inputs here. So entity is nothing but what are all the information that I would need to extract from the paragraph which I am supplying. Okay. For example, right, let me take a simple paragraph. Okay. Maybe just give me a minute. I'm just taking a simple paragraph here. Okay. And we will try to extract the details present from that paragraph. Okay. On my notepad. Okay. Hope you can see my notepad here. Okay. Yeah. So consider this is a random paragraph which I took. Okay. So here it has some product, and then it's specifying the height, width, and the dimension of those product, and some even some customer detail and all. Okay. So what I will try to do is I will supply this paragraph, and I wanted the AI to extract details like I'll just specify that I don't even need to describe anything. I'll specify extract product name, and I will put as dimensions, weight, then customer name, phone number, and what email ID. Okay. So I wanted to extract if any of this information present in this paragraph. Okay. So I'll copy this paragraph. I'm just passing this as sample data over here. Okay. You can see I passed this and I'm going to test it. Okay. So now, see, the builder is able to generate the response. If you can see here, right, currently it's giving you in this format which we have specified here. Okay, we wanted to specify it like a JSON. So you see here, and it's showing like product name. It is able to extract from the paragraph, right? You can see this. So you see super clean 5000 vacuum cleaner. Okay, it's able to extract dimensions, height, weight, length. Yeah, it's accurate. Then weight, then customer name, it's taking Emma Richardson. Then phone number, I think it's not available, so it's not there, and email ID. So you see how easy it's making a life. So anywhere, right, any document or any information that you want to extract, right, we can just simply use this. right? And it's able to identify the information. Okay, consider I wanted to create this prompt and use it in my application, right? I'm just clicking on the save button here. Okay, we'll just try to use it in our Copilot later. Yeah. So this is how we will be using our own, I mean, like the pre-built prompt that is present in the system, right? So let me just save it and I can close this off. Okay. So once we create our own prompt, right? Anyhow, in the my prompts, you will be able to see like it is created, right? Like it's created 8 seconds ago. Okay. So this how simply you can use a pre-built form. Now consider we are going to create our own custom prompt. Okay. So you just have to click here, build your own prompt. Okay. Now we will go a little bit complex over here. Okay. Maybe I will put as custom prompt, what to say, like, okay. Before that, right, I wanted to explain something. So the previous prompts that we were working, everything is only based on the knowledge of that particular, what to say, GPT model, right? So we are not, we haven't specified any other data to that. Okay, the only thing that we specified is that input that we given to it, and it was able to provide you the answer. Now, talking about Dynamics 365, and you have all the data in your organization present in the system, right? So there may be any kind of scenario. Okay, now we can just take some simple scenario where you will be extracting some sales order details, okay, for some customers. Okay, so now these details are present in the system in the database, right? Now you will be, I mean, you cannot pass all this data to the GPT directly, right? So here it is so powerful that we can actually connect this prompt to the database data, and you can specify which table that you want, and then based on that our AI model will be, AI prompt will be able to extract the information that is present in the database and give the details to you. Okay, so that's what we'll try to do is we'll try to get the order details. Okay, and then maybe just to make the scenario like more clear, right? Consider to make it more clear. I'm just opening my Dynamics 365 screen. Okay, so hope everybody knows what sales or service or whatever it is. Currently, we will see this is about the sales hub, and then we will see this copilot here present in the sales hub. Right? So this is an inbuilt copilot. Okay, this is where we can actually extend. We are going to extend this copilot by giving more AI prompt into it. So currently, if you see, it can do some basic things. Okay, a few options it's giving, right? Like consider I'm just clicking on get info. It can give you some details on like top three accounts or whatever it is. Let's see what it is giving. Okay, so this is already inbuilt. You can see, right? It's giving us some top accounts based on the list which is present. Okay, now consider I'm opening some account, and by default, right, yeah, again, right, it will actually load and give you the summary of this account. Okay, let's see how it's coming. Okay, so it can go load and give you the summary of the account. See here, it automatically, so it is configured in such a way that when you open the account, right, it will give you the summary of the account, so that the salesperson who wanted to have a knowledge on what this account is about, right, he don't need to go here, look into what are all the activities or what are all the details. You can see like how much ever, what asset location. They don't need to do all this. They can simply see here the key info that is required. Okay, so this is some basic level of capability that this copilot is providing. Okay, now consider what I wanted to do is I open the account, and then I wanted to uh, like get the list of order recent orders for this particular account. Okay, but I don't want to navigate finding the order table here, or I don't want to navigate going inside find the sales order from here and all. So I just wanted to give me the sales order, and I want Copilot to give the details about the order. Okay, this we can use and build it through AA prompts. Okay, so we know that this account is present in the database already. Okay, and we know sales orders is already present in the database. Okay, let me also show you some sample things that is present. Okay, So that is also present in the system. We just need to supply this to the prompt and then make it work. Okay. So all these things can be done in like within 5 to 10 minutes. So that is the best thing that we are doing here. So you can see, consider there are few orders that is present. Okay. So and maybe right for see you see there are few account that is so we'll just go back and then we will directly see how to do it. Okay. So now what I will do is I'll just try to give my own prompt. Okay. Get me the list of last three sales orders from the customer. Okay. I will actually pass some values here for now, right? I'm just putting it as placeholder later from the customer. Okay. Provide the details such as name, maybe currency, status. What else we can? Okay, status of the order, something like that. Okay. So now this is just a simple prompt, but obviously we need to provide the data that it is required. Okay. As I told you here, since it is a custom prompt, we will need to specify what are all the inputs, what are all the outputs that is required. Okay. So now clicking on the input. Okay. What input I would need to pass? So currently, right, I would need to pass mainly the customer name or customer ID. Okay. So what I will do is I will pass like yes, customer name. Okay. But technically I need this ID for now, but for testing purpose, right, I will just pass customer name here. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I'll just instead of this, right? Okay. I will just click on add and then I'll just choose my input. Okay. Customer name. Okay. So which means that I'm going to pass customer name here. And now to pass the details, right? Before passing the details, I need to connect the dataverse tables that are required. Right. So what I will do is I'll come to this next section called knowledge used. Okay. So now you want to add knowledge, okay, which is ideally the dataverse table. I click on plus and you'll be able to see all the table that is present in the system. So for this particular prompt, I'm going to send the account details, okay, and maybe the order table, right? So these are all the two tables that is required. Okay, I will specify the account details and then the order table. Okay, these two things I wanted to. For order, I don't need to filter anything, but what I will try to do is logically for account, right? What I will do is I wanted to extract the details of all the orders for this some particular account, right? So I'm going to pass that customer name here. Okay. So based on this, I wanted to fetch all the details. So here I will just put my filter condition here. Okay. So what I will do is I will press account and then I will get this input variable here. Okay. So this is nothing but I'm just using the filter attribute because this database will contain hundreds of thousands of accounts. So you filter only this particular account and based on this account, you get me the last three sales order. Okay, that's it. So I just connected two tables and I just had only one input and then I just filtered. Okay. Now for the prompt, right? I need to specify more details, right? So now what I can do is I can actually add the columns of this dataverse table, okay, which has the details so that Copilot, I mean, sorry, so that the prompt, right, AI prompt will have more insights on what it is required, okay. So I click on add and then I can select the account here, okay, and then I will select account name, okay, and then I'll add, and then what are all the information that you want? Okay, you can just pass to the builder so that it will be able to find out from where it is. Okay, maybe I will also pass the website of the account. Okay, then most important is I need to pass all the order details here, selecting the order table. Okay, so we asked for what order ID, maybe order ID, then we'll put order name, then currency, then status will know. And status. Maybe I should. So I'm just passing this fields to the prompt so that it fetches these details from the database directly. Okay. So it doesn't need like you need to find a logic to fetch using our one-to-one relationship. All those things are not required. Okay. So when we write all these plugins and custom code, right, we should think about logic on what things you need to pass. Here, everything is like straightforward and you just pass this information, right? It's just two lines of condition. Okay, so now what I'll do, like, this is what the input, this is the filter condition, these are all the tables. So let's quickly go and test it and see whether it is working here. Okay, so for now, right, what I'm doing is, you see here I have filtered based on the customer name. Ideally it should be customer ID, because I will tell you the reason why I wanted to we do it based on customer ID. Okay, so for now, let's just go here and then let me just take this customer ID. Okay. You can actually do through customer name also, anything is fine. But the reason why I'm using customer ID is I need to use this in the sales copilot, right? Let me go test and see, is it generating any kind of response based on the data was data. Okay. Yeah, you can see here, right? It is clearly specifying what are all the columns that we asked for. Okay, and then it is also giving us the detail. I asked for top three and it gave me top three order. Okay, so this is actually the valid values. You can see here my order, right? Yeah, you can check from here, like interest in medical instrument, smart blood pressure, and hand sanitizer. For this adventure works. Okay, so I asked for adventure works, and you see here everything. So it's like you can specify and see however it's working, right? It will be very interesting. So now we know that this is working, right? So further, right, I think we will be able to enhance, like, maybe let's try giving, provide the details in bullet pointers or something. Okay. Provide the details of each record in, I don't know, paragraph. I'm also just trying it out. Let's see whether it is coming. And then I'll just test prompt. Let's see if it's changing and giving it as a text or how is it. Yeah, you can see, right? It changed the format. So it's so powerful that it can do whatever it can be. Okay. So I'll just save it. Okay. So we'll save it and then we'll move on to the next step on how to configure this through the Copilot and use this. Okay. So these are all the steps where we are just creating the prompt. Okay. We have created a custom prompt. Okay. Based on the data that is present in the database. Okay, so let me go back to my slide and then see whether we have covered everything. Okay, so this is about the basics. So this is the prompt builder that we were talking about. Okay, then we went to the next, say, next step, and then yeah, this is how, right, this is where the prompt will be existing, and then we will have this input knowledge and then the output. Then again, yeah, so what we did now, right, just now, right, so custom prompts, we created a custom prompt and we were using the data used option, right, from the database table. Okay, and we can also apply different filters over that. Okay, based on the database table, you can just think about your own logic and you can just apply it. Okay, so we just click, I mean, use some order table here, and then we used order and account table to do the filter, and we use some random fields over here and we were able to generate some responses. Okay, so everything based on the prompt that you specify, the response changes for sure. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, and now, okay, the next important thing is change the output of your prompt. Okay, okay, from the developer point of view, what is it? Okay, so what I would suggest is consider. I'm just going back to the prompt here. Okay, so in general, right? See, we have like Copilot or anything will give your details in a text format. Okay, in Microsoft, right? So that too, all the Copilot that we are building, right? The output is always in a text format. Okay, so it will be readable to the user, but consider you wanted output that you are going to process it again. Okay. So as a developer, you might always think, right, which will be the best way to process any data, right? I would say like JSON format is one of the best way to do it because we know how it is coming and formatting, passing the JSON, everything is universal and we know about that. So that is why they have provided an option over here, like in the output, right? You can actually specify whether you need it in text format or you need it in a JSON format. Okay, consider I'm going to extract this information and then I'm going to pass it to a Power Automate flow or I'm going to pass it to an API. So in that case, right, I definitely wanted it to be JSON. Okay, I don't want to sit and then convert it, build my own JSON that we do traditionally. Okay, consider I'm just changing it in JSON format. Okay, and then let's test and see how the output is coming. Okay, maybe this prompt description and JSON format is not it's actually conflicting. Let me see, but still, right, yeah, you see here, simply it gave you all the outputs like whatever we asked here in a JSON format within a second. Okay, so what the main purpose here is, we can reuse this prompt anywhere, right? So we will use this prompt, get this output, and you can parse it in Power Apps, or you can pass it to Power Automate, or you can pass it to any APIs and do your further things. Okay, so that is one of the next powerful thing that is available here that I wanted to let you guys know. So that's one best thing here. So this is how, but for now, right? Maybe yeah, I just put it in a text format only. Okay, so that here we'll just view in the Power Automate on, I mean, sorry, view in the Copilot on how it looks like. Okay, I'll just keep it as a text and save. Okay, fine. So that is what is mentioned here. And then, yeah, so now we'll go to the main part on Copilot Studio. So now I think you guys will be familiar about what is Copilot Studio by now. Let me close this, and this is already done. Then we'll open the Copilot Studio here. So everybody knows copilotstudio.microsoft.com. We are coming here, and this is where you will build your own agents. At the same time, you can also use the existing, I mean, like edit the existing agent that is present. So like consider I'm opening my environment, right? You see different copilot that is available. Okay. So you see that customer service T365 customer service copilot. This is the one. In case if you want to edit the copilot that is present in the customer service module, you will edit this. If you want to power up the copilot in sales one, we are going to edit this now. Okay. And this is about powering up the Microsoft 365 Copilot, and other things are like these are some custom Copilot which I already built. Okay, these are present in my environment. Now talking about sales Copilot, right? All right, so we will make this scenario more enhanced. Okay, so what I wanted to understand, make the system understand now is, see, I'm opening the account here. Okay, I will just ask like give the order details. Okay, I will not specify the account name or account ID. I don't want to do all this because I already opened the account and system needs to understand that. Okay, we will quickly decide on how to do it. Okay, so what we will do is we are going to edit this copilot, right? So we'll go here, we'll just edit this. Okay, so and you guys know the basic thing that is present in the Copilot Studio, and knowledge is nothing but the knowledge that you're going to specify to the Copilot, and topics is the integral part where you will generate like where you will create all the I mean like how to say like whatever the prompt that user is providing, right? Everything falls under certain topics, right? And if no topics is associated and if it is an unknown intent, it will pass through the conversational boosting topic. Okay, since this is an existing copilot, okay, so it has its own inbuilt topics. You don't need to bother about all those things. Okay, so what I can do is I'm just going to create a new topic over here. Okay, so I'll just create a new topic from blank. Okay. So I'll just give some description. Okay, this topic must trigger when user asks about sales order details or maybe order details. Okay, just I'm specifying a short description. So whenever someone asks like sales order detail, it should trigger this topic. This is just a trigger. Okay. Then I'll just click on this. Okay. Now what information for now, right? As I told you, I don't even need to get any inputs from the user. Okay. So I want the system to automatically understand what account is it, and then we have to pass this information automatically. Okay, for this there is an option here, so I'll just declare a variable here. Okay, so I'm just going to set a new variable here. Okay, I'll just specify a new variable and its name as account ID maybe. Okay, okay. Now here in the value, right, since this is an inbuilt copilot, right, it has some extra features where you will be able to pass the like the form context, the form ID. So if you have been using the JavaScript plugins and all, right, you will be more familiar what is form context, what is the record ID, all those things, right? So now this has some inbuilt variables, right? When you open that form, it can automatically pass you that context of the form. Okay, so I'm just trying to see here GUID. Okay, you see here there are two variables. Okay, you see here it's like model page context dot id dot GUID. Okay, so this one you can remember. So this is what the ID of the record that we are opening here. Okay, so this is stored in a global variable and system will. This is like system variable. It will automatically have value. Okay, so I'm just choosing this. This one is again, this is for the view, but I just need the context dot ID. Okay, I'm just selecting this. Okay, so why we are doing this step is just to make sure that the account that we are opening, the value is automatically passed over here. Okay, let me just it is selected. Maybe let me first save it and then I will put get order details. Yeah. So yeah, meanwhile, any clarification, any doubts anybody wants to say?
No questions so far, actually. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
it's perfect. Go ahead. If anyone has any question, please post in the chat window, or maybe at the last you can open up your mic.
Yeah.
There is a question, I believe, Ramanana. Okay, maybe you want to. So Vinod, you want to take the questions now?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I think system
Sure,
is a
sure.
little bit
Maybe
stuck.
you
Yeah.
guys can
Please.
open your mic one by one, rather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this one, the data source, how we will specify whether it is Dataverse or
Mm.
it is from Dynamics Online. Let's say it is from D365 F&O. How do
Uh,
we point data source to this?
Um. d- Data. No. Yeah. That's what. Right. in the prompt you can see all the tables, right? So see whatever the table that is available in your environment, right? Say it if it is an sales or customer service, or even if it is an F&O, right? So environment, you have the dataverse anyways, right? So all the tables present in the dataverse, you will be able to see it inside here. Okay, so when you want to add knowledge here, everything will be available. Just that, see, for now it will display. Actually, if I'm having in this particular environment, sales service, customer service, both are available. So I can see all the tables from this D365 sales and service. And if it is F&O, I believe those tables also will be available listed here. Okay, so you will be able to choose whatever the table that is available in the dataverse. Like I also noticed that this is something like what to say, like advanced find. Like few tables are already restricted, but whatever the user can access, right, all those tables are already available here, and some other inbuilt tables also. Yeah. Yeah. So meaning, does it answer the question?
Yes, but so we can connect to Dataverse only. There is no multiple source option, I believe.
Uh, okay, I understand the thing. For that, yeah, I will commit later. Okay, so no, you can power up using the other sources also. But for the prompt builder, yeah, but for the AI prompt, yes, currently it is restricted for the data from inside the database.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
but if you want to power up this Copilot using other knowledge sources, yes, you can do it in Copilot Studio here. But AI prompt, again, it's I would say it's a combination. Okay, what I would maybe right after this session, I can tell you some scenario how you can do it. So we can try to fetch the data from another data source and then pass this data to this prompt. Okay, so we can do it through even Power Automate or even in this Copilot Studio itself. Okay, so we get the required information from other sources, then you pass it to the prompt and you get whatever you want. Yeah. So yeah, that one we'll see. I'll definitely show you what is it about. Yeah. So anything else?
No, I think Alagu
Yeah.
has also some
So,
question. He raised up
Yeah, yeah,
his hand.
yeah.
If
yeah,
Ramanan is fine. Okay, sure. Alagu, over to you.
yeah. So I have two questions. One is related to that, the one that you have shown previously about that custom promote one, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that you have a account that is linked with the order. Okay. But when you have a data verse, we have order related line items, right?
Mm, mm.
So and the order
So,
later line items, I need to have some specified filters. It's not a dynamic filters. I need to, like a fetch XML, right? We need to have some kind of relationship added dynamic filters. Is it possible over here?
so you want to fetch the details from the order line, right?
Line item, correct?
Okay.
and
No,
and
no,
also
yeah.
I need to add a custom filters over there, adding extra filters.
Sure, yeah, yeah, it should be possible. Yeah, let's try it out straight away. I think because I can see the order line item table here, but the problem is data is not there. So you see here order line table here, right?
Mm,
But here, okay, so but what I would say is you see the filter in this particular place will be based on certain fields. Okay, but it will not be based on like fetch XML that you are expecting. Okay, but maybe right, if you want to filter the order line, like what I would think of is like maybe if it is an like existing product or a write-in product or like any orders that is the amount is like maybe the unit is more than five, something like that, right? That's what the condition you're
correct,
expecting, right?
correct,
So what
correct.
I would, yeah. So that kind of simple filtering we can do here, but what I believe is you can do one level of filtering here, whichever is possible here. Okay. So maybe what I will do is I'll just put here some filter I will put here, but later I think I will be able to filter it from here also. Okay. So now I'm including this table and I can also include the fields from the order line here. Okay. Maybe the product. name and then quantity. Okay.
This is always a equal operator only. It's not like greater than or something,
Yeah,
right?
at this point, yes, yes. Here, at this level, yeah, it's only the equal operator. But when you talk about customizing it to a larger extent, there are other ways to do it. But it's like what I would say is at this point, to give what to say, it's going to give you some common information only, right? So I would say that it's not like very specific that you need to be like more specific on this. But still, all those things we can do. Maybe I would suggest we can do those things via Copilot Studio, not in this particular custom prompt builder. It's not possible. That's
Okay, so those kind of extra things it is possible to do it in the Copilot Studio
yeah,
rather
yeah,
than.
yeah, definitely. So what I would do is I would get all the information here, maybe in, as I told you, right, in JSON format. Then later I will process it however I want, in
Okay,
case if it is required.
okay.
Okay,
So
but
another,
yeah.
so sorry. My second question is about the licensing part. Okay, I believe that Copilot has a separate licensing. Okay, most of the client we have a team member license and the normal license, right? So if the team member license, obviously team member license is the lowest license. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
when the team member license is enabled with this separate Copilot, will they also have what are that tables that are restricted for them only is able to see them, or is there any restriction for that licensing when it comes to team member users?
So you're going to get a separate Copilot license for team member users, is it? Team member license holders, is it?
Yeah, see, maybe I can put it simply like
I.
that.
Mm,
Team member users are that. Okay, they want to use this functionality, whatever we have designed it in the Copilot Studio, right? They want to
yeah.
use this functionality without any error. So in that case, what kind of license that I need to provide for them? First of all, will it work for them when it comes to
Um.
license?
Yeah, actually, this one, yeah, at this point, I'm not 100% sure how it works. Because whatever, yeah, as you say, enterprise peoples will have access to all the tables. Okay. But for team member license, right? I doubt whether it's possible because I think it should be restricted, I believe. So data was stable, but still, right, for reading the data, still, I guess, I mean, like, I may not be able to answer it now, but I can check and then get back to you after some time. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Which one? Maybe sorry, I was a little bit away. So is there any question? Maybe I can help. What
Yes.
question? Yeah.
So my question is actually we have team member license users. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if the team member license user wants to use this Copilot Studio,
Mm-hmm.
we have created one Copilot Studio which will things. Okay, and our
Mm-hmm.
team member license user want to use that function, use that feature. Okay, so will it be
Mm-hmm.
possible first? That is my question.
Team member license with Copilot Studio. I don't
Mm,
think team member license in Copilot Studio can access this feature because team member license is always limited.
yeah.
This is bit tricky actually. I don't think so. Accessing Copilot Studio means okay. You are saying within this Dataverse, this information also it has to access, right? It's not like merely accessing the Copilot Studio only. Correct? Whatever
Correct.
the
Mm,
data, you have to fetch the data also respective tables. So as part of the team member license, I'm just checking licensing handbook. 1 minute.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Microsoft Dynamics.
Because in the real
Yeah.
time, mostly enterprise users are always be less compared to the team members users mostly high. So I just want to
Hmm.
know that if we develop anything on the Copilot Studio, if we deployed it in the D365 sales, whether the team member license user can able to see those things or not.
Understand.
Yeah.
But team member license, as per my understanding, if what is the table you are trying to access? Which table? Data?
Is asking about like for this example we are taking orders, but in
Mm-hmm.
general, I mean he's asking like maybe for any other tables also. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking the general. Of course, there are standard 20 tables with custom
Yeah,
tables. So there, right?
like 15
Assume that
custom
standard,
tables.
15 custom tables and whatever that like team member license accessing permission, read whatever that entities only. If I use that entity, let's say example for order entity. Okay, obviously order entity has access to the team member license user. Okay, if I use
Mm.
the order entity in the Copilot Studio and I
Mm.
deployed it, whether I can team member can able to see this table.
Yeah. So see, actually, right, like from the dynamics point of view, if you see it right, in general, let's see, even though we are giving the Copilot access to them, okay,
Yeah.
but ideally, right, if you use, if the team member is trying, whoever the member is, right, based on the security role, they will have access to the data, correct?
Okay. I think let me put the point, Alagu, for your point of view, how exactly it is. You have Copilot Studio. Okay. You have team member license. Team member license is governed by your Dynamics 365 managed app. Typically, I am telling in a layman term. You understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Dynamics
yep,
365 managed app, which Microsoft is proprietary. Okay.
correct.
That's why they are selling this licensing model, team member license, enterprise, premium, and so on. So, okay. So now they put the restriction team member only on the managed entities. Okay. So if you want to access Copilot Studio, should not be any problem as long as they have relevant Copilot licenses. Okay, Copilot Studio licenses.
Mm.
But when using Copilot Studio, you want to retrieve some information which you have no permission in team member license. For example, case. There is a limited permission. Which record you have access, only you can access those. You cannot route the case also. Even answer the question you want to route to someone else, right? It's restricted. So this kind of limitations you have to think on top of your Copilot license, Copilot Studio license. Maybe Copilot Studio can do, but it depends which data you want to retrieve, means team member license holder want to retrieve from Dataverse. Hope this makes sense to you. Because Copilot Studio license always separate item. Okay. You have to pay that fees, right? You have that Copilot Studio license. You have fully access. Let's say
Yeah.
I have a user X. I have given you privileges. You can go ahead with Copilot Studio. Okay. But whenever you are trying to access the specific Dataverse table, here is the block hole for you. You cannot access.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That's the stopper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yep.
think
Yep. Yep.
it's our the default behavior of the system, right? See,
Correct.
anyhow,
Correct.
you can actually access only the data that you have the access. So
Mm-hmm.
the user
Okay. I
who is
think.
logged in, yeah,
Yep, yep. I think Vinod he understood. So
okay,
it's
yeah,
the thumb rule law. Basically, we have to understand how Microsoft come up with the architecture, principles, concepts. So and then I think it's fine. So I think this is what the process is all about. Okay.
yeah,
So go ahead.
yes,
If no
yeah.
further questions. Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So let me, yeah, let's come back to the topic here. Okay. So yeah, we were creating this variable, right? So just to refresh, I just created a new topic and then I'm just setting a variable to store the ID of the account that is getting opened. Okay, that's it. So then now how do you include that custom prompt? Use the custom prompt here. Okay, so click on the note here, click on add an action. Okay, and you will see all the prompts that you have created. Okay, so if you want to create a new prompt, yeah, you can also start from here. Okay, instead of creating from the AI builder, you can start from here. At the same time, now I'm just looking for the prompt which I created. This one, right? Custom prompt, get order details 7 minutes ago, right? Yeah, I'm just choosing it. Okay. And you remember, ideally, we gave one input there called as customer name. Ideally, it's customer ID. Okay. So I'll just pass this variable one as the customer name here. Okay. That's it. Store the value in another variable. Okay. I'll just create a new variable. Okay. I'll just later I'll rename it. Okay. Fine. That's it. It's as simple as that. So what I have done is In case if someone is asking about get order details, this topic will be triggered. System will automatically pass the GUID of that record to the prompt, okay, through the variable, and prompt should give you the response as expected. That's it. Okay, so I'll just put a message to check it out. I'll just put this variable over here. Okay, output variable. That's it. I'm just saving it. Now, I really will not be able to test it here in this agent because we have configured in such a way that we are not getting the input and passing to the prompt. We are automatically passing. So we will not be able to test it from here. Okay. But maybe I can still try to ask this copilot and let's see what it is doing. So it should be intelligent enough to ask, like you specify the customer name or customer ID or something like that. Okay. So I'll just publish it once. So the existing copilot, right? The feature is getting added on. So yeah, so to create a prompt, yeah, there are like 2, 3 ways. So whatever we saw is from this AI builder. Okay, so you can also create a prompt from this node directly. And at the same time, right, maybe I'll open a new tab. So we have the actions over here, the actions tab. Okay, so let me open from here. Okay, so in the actions tab, you can go here, you can add an action, and then you can create a new prompt or Power Automate flow. So all these are like all different places, but it comes down to the same thing. Okay. So that's so I think I have published the topic. So maybe let me try to ask this copilot whether it's able to. Okay, let me see. So it should be intelligent enough to identify, okay, I need an input, I need to ask an input, something like that. Okay, so it's telling that this value is blank. Anyhow, we'll straight away go to the copilot from customer service. I'm just refreshing the screen here. From the sales hub, and then now system will be able to automatically pass the GUID of this record to the copilot. I'm not sure, maybe some network issue with my. Hope you can still hear me, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
can hear you. I think Ramanan also some question.
Yeah.
Maybe
Please.
if you want to take it up or at the end, because I don't want to disturb on your flow.
Yeah. Maybe we can do it and then we'll take it up in 5, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Sure. Ramanan, maybe
Okay.
you can put in the chat window. Okay. Or else you wait till his flow finish. Yep.
Yeah. Sure. Something is. Let me open it in a separate tab. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'll go to the account. Let me open a random account. Okay. So now let me get order details. Okay. Now we should be able to bring some output through our AI prompt. And yeah, and so while using this AI prompt, right, in our environment, like the two in test environments, right, we should be a little mindful because it will not work for a lot of time because we have some certain credits that is inbuilt. And yeah, there it is. You can see here, right? It is actually giving us the output that is expected. So we have given them, I mean, we have instructed it to give the detail in a paragraph for last I mean, the top three items, and then it's able to give you the output, as you say. So it's as simple as that. We are able to configure and this like in few minutes, right? So that is one major thing that like what I would say, it's more powerful and it's more time saving also. And based on the logics that we were talking, right? Yes. So currently I have directly displaying it as a text value, but for the other questions that were asked, right? Generally what I will do is, yeah, I will, in case, right, if I want to filter, right, fine tune the data and show only the required details, right? For example, right, just show me only the top order of that particular customer. Like I'll at least get the data first and then I will filter it and then I can show it from the Copilot Studio. Now talking about the knowledge source, right? So consider here, like we have the knowledge source here, right? So now you can actually add any other knowledge sources to power up this Copilot, right? So if I go click on add knowledge, right, you can see that like Dataverse is nothing but it's the same table that you used in the AI prompt, right? You can actually use the same tables here also. You can use public websites and SharePoint, which are all this file or the default for knowledge sources that is there. Okay, but for now, right, maybe going a little further, right? Ideally, what happened? I have a SharePoint. Okay, I had a SharePoint, and then I'm just connecting it to some other external data. Okay, and let me show you. I have just already connected it. Okay, you just need to specify the URL of the SharePoint here. Okay, so I'm just opening my SharePoint site here, and it has some random documents. Okay, so I'll go to this SharePoint site, and then I'll show you what documents it is present. So and this is present in environment. Okay, so the organization or any client, right? So they're having their documents here. Okay, and then you see here, right, some PDF. Okay, some PDF which I downloaded from internet. This is some, what to say, some DHL Express. Maybe. Okay, so you consider some PDF. Okay, some data is here. So what I do is I put it in the SharePoint, get the URL of the SharePoint. Okay, just add it as a data source here. Okay, knowledge source here. Okay, you see that exactly the same URL I have used this. Okay, now Copilot is still able to answer based on this knowledge source also. Now I'm just going to ask some question. Okay, which is not even like related to this. Okay, so let's go to the data and then we'll see. See, this is some document. Okay, let me ask like, what are all the terms and conditions of carriage? Okay, just some random question. Give me the DHL Express terms and condition of the carriage. Okay, so now, right, this same Copilot will be able to get the information from the SharePoint source also. Okay, you see, I'm not giving the Copilot any context here, just a random question. Okay, and it will be able to search other knowledge sources. It should be able to bring the data from that SharePoint source and specify from which document it bought. Okay, so you can see here the output here, right? It's giving you some unacceptable, I mean, all these points here, and then it's specifying which file it is. DHL service condition, you see here, is the exact same thing it's displaying. It's giving the output from here. You see here, right? All it's exact same detail. It's able to bring it from the SharePoint. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is you can actually use different knowledge source at this particular place. Okay, so and here, right, you can see from which knowledge source it's bringing. Okay, from the Copilot Studio you'll be able to see from where it brought the data. Okay, and it is also, it can switch between the topics very easily. So now if I talk about the account detail, order details here, it can bring up the order detail also. You don't need to even specify the context here. It works in that fashion. Okay, so from other knowledge, you can bring the data and then you just need to have the logic inside your topics. So I will generally, what I will do is I will get the data. Okay, consider I want to get the data and I want to process it further, right? I will get the data, store it in a variable maybe, and then you can actually pass this particular data to your custom prompt in case you want to still summarize it or you want to extract some details. So we initially saw one prompt, right? Like to extract details. Okay. Now consider I wanted to extract maybe only the some details present in this output, right? I can store it in a variable. I can pass it to the custom prompt, and I can get that output and then show it off. Okay. So everything is all about like we have all the tools in place. It's just that how we are going to use it. That is the only thing that we're going to plan it out accordingly. So Copilot Studio, I would say it's one of the most powerful tool that you can use to build any kind of Copilot. Okay, but if you are a pro developer, you can still use AI Studio, Azure AI Studio also to do it. Okay, and yeah, with this, right, this particular topic on using the AI prompt is done. Yeah, we'll discuss other topics now. So I'll just take up any questions to close off this particular topic. I think there was a question previously, right? Yeah, let me check it. So anybody have any questions now?
There is one question Ramanan asked, actually. I replied.
Okay.
And I think Ramanan still raised the hand. Ramanan, any question from you? Still pending?
Yeah, this test your agent is like it will test the agent flow which you created in Copilot Studio.
Mm, which one? Sorry. Uh,
You have a column to the left, right side, test your agent.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So that is like you create all the agents in the Copilot Studio, and that flow will be tested using this test your agent.
No, see, this test your agent is for this particular agent, right?
Okay.
Okay, so if for every agent, yeah, you will have this test agent. Okay, so this is with specific to this particular agent, and now when you're going to test it, it will actually bring you from which topic it got triggered, from which knowledge source it got triggered. It will automatically bring you the details over here. Okay,
This
now
Copilot,
anyhow, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
Copilot Studio is only for the data source which are available in the enterprise, or it will communicate with web also.
Okay, so I will show you a few things here. Okay, so this, see, Copilot Studio is a platform where you're going to build the Copilot, correct? So if you want to connect to different data source, data knowledge, right? So you have like certain predefined thing like public site, SharePoint, Dataverse, and then here you can upload the files. Okay, you can even upload the files here directly and use the files in SharePoint public website. In addition to that, we can also have external connectors like this. Okay, so now actually, right, I since we have some more time, right, I can go ahead and explain few things on how to use the power of Azure AI search also inside Copilot Studio. Okay, I'll go with the topic next. Okay, so to your question, you can use custom connectors in addition to the existing inbuilt connector that is present in the Copilot Studio. You can also build your own custom connectors from the actions. Okay, so you can see here, you can use your REST API. Okay, so you can connect to the external data source. You can use your Azure board framework skill. Okay, you can build your custom connector in your Power Platform and then use it. You can use Power Automate or the AI prompt that we are using. And in addition to that, we have a lot of libraries which is already there. You can see here, right? Excel Online, everything you have the feature to use it. Okay, so you just need to understand and learn what this Copilot platform is doing. So once you understand what the Copilot Studio is doing, right, then yeah, it's your wish how you however you want to build your Copilot, okay, specific to
Yep.
your organization. Yeah.
Maybe just to
Is
add
it
on, Ramanan, to answer you, there are different sources supported, like he just presented. One is public website, document, SharePoint, Dataverse. And if enterprise data is sitting outside, you can use by connecting using Copilot connectors. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are the options.
is it possible to connect with the OData feed also? OData feed in a sense in Power BI we have that right to connect to data entities provided in D365 for now. URLs which are similar to that.
OData feed, I haven't tried it personally, but if you talk about like related to the Power BI data, right? We have actually done some POCs related to bringing those data into the data lake, right? Okay, from there, yeah, we will be able to use those data from the data lake. That is possible. Okay, and consider when you are going to use like the Azure capability here. Now it's even more expandable. Okay, so maybe let's go through some Azure related AI capabilities that you can use in Copilot Studio. I can have a small walkthrough on that now. And from there, yeah, again, it leverages to even more larger scale of data that you want. But directly using the OData one, I haven't tried it personally. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, fine. So yes, if there are no other questions, maybe I can extend the session to a little bit more, and then I wanted to show one other capability of Copilot Studio, like using Azure AI search. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm just logging into my Azure portal. So as for the topic that we discussed, yeah, it's already done. And today, whatever we discussed, right, I was talking about enhancing the existing Copilot that is present in Dynamics 365 for sales. Okay, but this same all these features can still be used to develop your own custom Copilot. Okay, which is even more flexible than the existing Copilot. Okay, and then you can. Okay, now we can like saw a little bit more about like maybe we'll talk about building a custom Copilot. Okay, but you are going to use the power of Azure AI search. Okay, and people here who know like how the Azure, I mean like what are all the capabilities that is present in the Azure AI, right? Yeah, so we can actually leverage all these capabilities into our Copilot Studio also. Okay. I mean, okay, so basically, right, I'm just opening my Azure portal here. Okay, so let's talk about like what is Azure AI search, right? Okay, so what is Azure AI search? In general, let's see, it is previously called as Azure Cognitive Search. If you guys already know it, okay, so it is a cloud-based search service, okay, and it is AI powered. Okay, it can search any kind of structured, unstructured data, and then it can give you the response accordingly based on the search. Okay, so since it is AI search, okay, there are like two or three keywords that you would have been hearing, like it's using semantic and vector search to get the data. And then the main advantage of using it is it can handle large amount of data. Okay, so it can handle multiple, like whatever, it's a big PDF or Word or any text document very efficiently. Then it's very, like what to say, it's a fast and very scalable. Okay, and the main thing is we can integrate it with Copilot Studio, and also you can use the same inside the Power Automate also. Okay, so that's why we are going for Azure AI search. Now, like what we'll do is consider an enterprise level organization which is having like thousands of documents in their place, and they wanted to use that efficiently. Okay, see, currently like a scenario where these persons, right, the person, maybe the internal peoples who are using the, I mean, like the internal people from the organizations, right, who wanted to refer any old documents. Okay, so currently that enterprise organization is having like thousands of case studies, proposals, some best practices, or example HR policies. All those are present in some maybe a SharePoint site. Maybe you can consider again the same like SharePoint site or OneDrive or any other database. No, we will not. I mean, like if you use Copilot Studio directly to connect to all those, we feel that it's not very efficient, like considering thousands of data. Like there are some limitations in Copilot Studio. But when you go for Azure AI search, okay, it is far more expandable, it's far more extensive, it can handle a large amount of data. So what we will suggest is, okay, you have your own Azure resource already, so you can use your Azure AI search there, but we can integrate our Copilot Studio to use the Azure AI search. Okay, that is what basically we are going to do here. Okay, so maybe, right, you can just consider like there are only few steps. Okay, see, what I will do, what we suggested them is move all your documents into a blob storage, okay, which they already had. Okay, so because blob storage is, you know, it's cost wise also it's very effective. So what we do is we maintain a centralized data storage in Azure Blob. Okay, so where they stored all their data. Okay, that's first number one. Then we will be using Azure Search to index all those data over there. Okay, and then once it is indexed, later what we will do is based on that index, right, we will integrate into the Copilot Studio and get the response accordingly. Okay, so let me quickly show you how it works. Okay, so maybe, right, consider this is my storage account. Okay, let me go. Let me show you something which I have already stored. Okay, so consider this is my storage account where I have certain files here. Okay, so some documents. Okay, these documents I downloaded from internet. Okay, where we have a lot of like all documentation. Okay, this has tables, pictures, and everything. Okay, so if you want to see the preview, I can show you. So all this, see, you have licensing guide, all those things we already have here. Okay, so now likewise you consider there are thousands of other files present in the Azure Blob Storage. Okay, so what we will do is next step, what we should do to use Azure searches, like we will create an Azure OpenAI resource. Okay, so I'm coming back to the Azure portal. Okay, now we'll go here. We have here like Azure OpenAI, right? So generally we will be creating an Azure OpenAI resource here. Okay, why we are creating Azure OpenAI resources? We have to deploy a model. So if you would have seen the previous session from Golok, right, he has showed how to deploy some models into the system, right? So as step two, what you will do is we'll create an Azure OpenAI model here. And then from here, okay, so which is actually the Azure AI Foundry portal. Okay, so here we will need to deploy a model as step one. Okay, before that, the people who doesn't know like what is Azure AI, OpenAI service, right? So Azure OpenAI service is nothing but it's an like it provides access to all the OpenAI model like GPT-4, GPT 3.5, like the DALI. So all those GPT models, right? It is like a collaboration between Azure and then the OpenAI. Okay, so this AI Foundry portal, yeah. So this search service will allow you to use these GPT models powered by OpenAI, and you can do your search accordingly. Yeah. Okay, so that's why we have. So what I have created is I have created an. I mean, I will just open my Azure OpenAI Foundry. Okay, then I will just deploy a model here. So here in the screen, if you see, there is something called deployment. Okay, so I need to deploy a model here. Okay, and I will use this model in my Azure search. That's it. Okay. So in this particular scenario, we are going to like use search indexing based on for the files that is present in the system, right? So we have to deploy one of the embedding model that is going to use. Okay, so I'll click on deploy model. Okay, deploy base models, and you will have list of other models. Okay, so here for this particular scenario, you have to embed either text embedding 3 or 4, any one of the embedding model is required here to do this. Okay, so you'll just deploy a model here, you'll just select it and then you just click on confirm. Okay, and obviously I have already done it, so I don't want to do it again, but anyhow it's the same thing. Okay, that's it. It's one simple step that you have to follow in the Azure AI Foundry portal. Okay, so once you do this right, then we will just go back to our Azure portal and then we'll just create a Azure search service straight away. Okay, I will just keep it as it is and coming back to the now you just need to create a Azure search service. Okay, so I'm going to Azure AI service. I'm just expanding that. You see a lot of things that you see here, right? So initially we went to the Azure Open AI service, and then we went to the Azure AI Foundry portal, created a deployment there. Then now I'm going to create a Azure AI search service. So click on Azure AI search service. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll just create a new for you. Okay. So this is my own resource group. Okay. I'm just giving a name. Okay, search service global AI, and then I'll just choose, for now, I'll just choose Southeast Asia, which is mine. Okay, so this pricing tier, yeah, this is what based on however you are based on whatever the subscription that you have. So currently, I just wanted to choose the basic pricing. Okay, so free pricing has some limitations. So at this point, I'm choosing some basic pricing here. Okay, and then I'll just create a set service here. Okay, so once we create a set service, then the next step is we are just going to import and vectorize the data. Okay, so let's create it. So once it is created, then we will vectorize those files that is present in the blob storage. Okay, so once it is done, that's it. We can directly go there, do our integration with the Copilot Studio. Okay, so deployment is done now. Okay, so we'll just go into that resource. Okay, and you can see the button here, right? Import and vectorize data. Okay, so we'll click on this button. And then now you see some other features, I mean like some other places where you can establish the data connection straight away. Okay, so you can use blob storage or data lake, or even you see a Fabric One Lake, Cosmos DB, and Azure SQL Server, whatever it is. Okay, these are already inbuilt. Okay, where you can use. For now, we are going to use Azure Blob Storage. Okay, and I will choose the storage account where I have my files. Okay, so we have the files here, right? So it is inside Copilot resource file. I'll go here. I'll check. You see Copilot resource file. Okay, that's it. What I'm doing, I'm just choosing the files here, and then I'll click on the next button. Now the next place is where you will just vectorize the files that is present in this particular blob storage. Yeah, it's taking a few seconds. Yeah, so now you see our OpenAI service is appearing here. Now the model, you have to choose the model that we deployed previously in our previous step inside our Azure AI Foundry portal, right? I'm just going to use this model, and the authentication type, right? It should be API key. Okay, so we will be using the API key in the Copilot Studio to connect this to Azure AI service. So it should be API key. Okay, and then you just click on next, and Consider it if you are, I mean, like if your files having a lot of images and you need to vectorize the images and all, right, you can enable this, okay? But for now, yeah, it's like we have to spend a lot of time to do it. So, and I also don't have the resource to show it. So for now, right, I'm not going to enable this, but again, it's also a simple step which you can try it out. You can just enable it so that the response, right, it will be more powerful. It will also read through your images that is present inside the files. Okay, so and then okay, this is where the schedule indexing is about. So this is nothing but how often you should index the files that is present. So you see here, right, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, hourly, daily. So how it will be useful for you is consider you are connecting to some Azure blob storage. You are telling that as your knowledge source, correct? So there are I mean, there are chances that that knowledge source will be keep on changing or keep on updating. Okay, so there will be business scenarios where you will be adding new files to that folder, or you will be removing files at the same time, or you will be changing the content into certain files. Okay, so based on the new content, Copilot should be able to get the updated information. So that is where this indexing helps. Okay, so this Azure AI search for searching the updated data, right, you can actually schedule this indexing also. Okay, so if you feel that your data is getting changed like very frequently, you can keep it as daily or even weekly ones, so that the indexing is refreshed every time and it will be based on the updated file that is present in that particular blob storage. Okay, so for now I don't need all those things. I'll just put it as once and then I'll just create it. That's it. So inside the Azure portal, we just did 3 steps. Okay, so we organized all our documents into the blob storage. Then we went to Azure OpenAI service. Okay, inside the Foundry portal, we just deployed a model. Then we created a Azure AI search service. That's it. Okay, that come here, and then from here, right, you can just you if you want, you can test it out here, but no point in testing. Let me go back here. Okay, now we go to the Copilot Studio, and then we will see how to integrate this search service there and then use it as a knowledge. Okay, so before going to Copilot Studio, you just need to have two information taken up from here. Okay, so you have to take this URL of this search service, and then you have to take the key. Okay, key is the way where you will do that authentication, right? So you copy that URL somewhere, and then you go to the keys. You will take the primary admin key. Okay, so you just need these two things to just configure the integration there. Other than that, you don't need anything else. Okay, so that's all you have to do from the Azure portal point of view. Now I can go back to our Copilot Studio. Okay, I'm going here. Okay, so I'll open a custom Copilot which is already built and configured. Okay, so I'll just show you how to configure it again. Yeah, so go to the knowledge source. Okay, as knowledge source, as I already told you, right, you can specify one of these public website or SharePoint. But now we are going for the advanced feature. We are going to look for this AI search service. Okay. So once you select the AI search service, it will ask you to sign in. Okay, so since I have already signed in, it's showing as this, but ideally it will actually ask you like this. Okay, so the two things that you have to do here is it is going to be the access key. You are going to paste this URL here, and then the primary admin key that we copy pasted. That's it. And click on create. As simple as that. Click on next, and it is already done. You have already integrated the Copilot knowledge with the Azure search service by now. Okay, so now what happens is it appears in your knowledge base here, and Copilot is already powered with whatever the I mean, like with the whatever the file that is present. Okay, now to test it. Okay, let me go to the blob storage. Okay, and then I will randomly open a file there. I don't know which file. Let me to check it. Okay. So actually, right, see, maybe this is like Power Platform licensing guide is there. So for testing it, right, maybe I can ask about like any license over here. Okay. So let me ask, what is the price of Power Apps per app plan? There's something like this available. Let me ask. So now this will actually get the details from the blob storage, the files that you stored in the blob storage. Okay. And in here, herewith you can see, right? You can see from where it took the answer. So it's from the Azure AI search. It already found out the answer. And you see here, right? The current price of Power Apps plan is okay. And we are very sure this information is not the knowledge, I mean, it's not the general knowledge from the Copilot, because if you come here, you can see that I have already disabled all the general knowledge. Okay, so see here, it will only use the knowledge from the Azure AI search. Okay, so you can see it also showing the vector from where it's bringing the answer. Okay, so it's what to say, it's a few steps that you just need to do it from the Copilot point of view. People who already know what the Azure AI search is, right? They have to do nothing, like they already configure Azure AI search in the portal. You have to bring in the URL and then the key. Okay. It's just that you have to give the URL and key, configure as a knowledge source inside the Copilot Studio. Okay. Now you will be able to leverage all the AI services from the Azure, okay, which is actually very wide when compared to any other AI services. So you will be able to use those things in your Copilot and make it more powerful than like whatever it is. Okay. And like you can also ask, right, why the reason why we are going to go for this particular what to say Azure AI search, okay, instead of the any other option that is available, right? See, again, it's like what to say, it's a known thing, right? See, based on the complexity, right? If you have a lot of files, like thousands of file, hundred thousands of file, even those things, I think Azure will work perfectly fine. And it's scalable. You can start with a small thing and then you can scale it to a large extent. And performance, like performance also will be very good when compared to other search services. And I have also tested the accuracy. It also seems to be very nice when you use Azure AI Search and Copilot Studio. And that's what, and see, and practically, right, practically the use case which I have done personally, right? See, when you're going to supply knowledge source to the Copilot Studio, right? Like if I am the one who is developing the Copilot, right? See, I'll be specifying some knowledge source, like consider you are going to add the same documents here, like by adding it here. You can also do it from here. It will also give you proper response. But what will happen is later, if someone wants to update the documents or change the documents or add any documents, it should be someone who is having admin access to the Copilot can do it, right? But consider if it is just a blob storage there, and user who has access to the blob, they can just update the document here, and Copilot will automatically get powered up based on the updated document. Okay, so this was a real business scenario which we gave them some solution based on this Azure AI search. Yeah, I think that's it for this particular thing. And if you have any questions related to this, you can ask me.
I don't see any questions so far. So, but anyways, I think thank you so much for the session. I think any question Raman and Venkat ask, or else you can see there is a link I pasted in the chat. You can claim your badge, and I shared also the code. Okay, how to claim the badge in the
Okay.
chat. Yep.
So for this Azure knowledge service that we created now, so
Mhm.
How is the costing or the license for those things?
So this one is purely based on your Azure services, right? Yeah. So like I chose the tires. You remember when I created the Azure AI service, right? So for now, I have chosen the basic tire, which was displaying me as like $75 per month, something like that, right? So
Okay.
it's purely based on your Azure resource, what you're going to
So
do.
Microsoft provides $200 per email ID, right? Initially, when you log in and you
Hmm.
register for.
Yeah.
So within that, we can achieve.
Yeah. Can you can try it out with that credits. Yeah, it will definitely work. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, actually, I pasted a calculator. Actually, Ramnan, it will be really helpful. I use this one also. I pasted a Azure calculator. Not only this, if any resources you need top up, you just use this. This is really helpful
Yeah.
actually. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It has example scenario and what scenario, what kind of licenses required. It has given few things you can add your estimates and other things. Okay. This is really helpful actually to calculate.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Fine.
Yep.
Uh,
So
if no further question, thank you so much, Vinod, for the great session. Actually, the Pavan stuck with some on due to unavoidable some reason. That's why he is not able to join. So that's why just Vinod just extended the session, and we are giving back another 20 minutes. By 4, we should close 20 minutes back to you. I understand it's a weekend, so you guys already joined over weekends, and thank you so much for joining the session. If no further questions, you can go ahead with claiming the badge using the code, and you can share across wherever you feel. Okay, I'm just typing again. Those who dropped off also, everyone who dropped off can claim their badges from this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Vinod.
yes, yeah.
Thank Ramanan. Thank Venkat.
Yep. Thanks everyone for joining.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, thank you. Bye.
Yep.